Are you ready for big shifts in 2026? Because they're coming. Lots going on in 2026. Now, the big changes that are coming ultimately will be for our good. Ultimately, will bring the change that we all feel needed, or the shifting energy that we feel coming in. But sometimes change can bring struggles, chaos, turmoil to get to that point. So 2026 is that kind of year. It's the struggle and the chaos and the turmoil that results in change. Now, the change may be in 2026, it may not be, but it is the leading up to the big shifts or changes that's coming in. So 2026 is going to be a big year energetically. I'm going to be using the cards today to forecast what's coming for the year ahead for 2026, as well as the astrology transits, and let you know what's happening. Last year, between the astrology transits, the eclipses, and the card reading, I was able to accurately predict the exact months that we would be having heightened volcano activity, as well as water events such as tidal waves. So we'll see what the cards are going to reveal and the astrology is going to reveal for 2026. I've had some visions leading up to the reading, so I'll share those with you as well. I'm going to begin with the astrology and let you know the big energy that's happening in the astrology, and then I'm going to timestamp this so you can jump to whichever section you prefer. I'm going to pull cards from my predictions oracle. Now, I do monthly ones every month. They have pretty good hit rate, so you can check back in monthly and see what's coming up on a closer range. But 2026 forecast will be for the whole year in general, the collective energy of the year, as well as what big events could possibly be happening over 2026. So let's get straight into this reading. So I'm going to begin with the astrology section of what's happening for 2026. 2026 is a really big year. Astrologically, 2026 is a very big year. We've got the 3 outer planets moving. They've been moving back and forth over across their signs for some time now, but they'll settle into their new homes in 2026. And what I mean by that is they've been sitting in the early degrees of their new homes. So when they retrograde, as planets do, they've been retrograding back into the sign they were. But as they move further into their new home sign, then when they retrograde, they'll still be within that home sign. So that's what I mean when I say that they'll be settling into their homes in 2026. Now, the outer planets are slow moving planets. They're intergenerational planets. When they move, they indicate big changes coming to the collective. Last time, I think it was Neptune was in Aries, where it is for 2026, there was the French Revolution, amongst other things. There was lots of big wars because Aries rules wars. It's ruled by Mars, so it's a lot of energy of heated energy, passion energy, movement energy, because it's a fire sign, but also warring, so conflict that is required to dissolve old power systems or structures that no longer work for us. It's the things that we've been feeling that this isn't right. It's not right. And I'll link up why it's connected to the collective. That's because of the Pluto in Aquarius, but I'll break it down so you can understand what kind of energy we are in for 2026. Then I'm going to hit those eclipses, because that's how I was accurate with the active Earth volcanoes and tidal waves for 2025. Start with Neptune into Aries. Now, Neptune in Aries, it's been back and forth between Pisces and moving into Aries as it retrogrades and then stations and goes direct. 2026 is its home. Now, as I said, the last time this placement happened was in many thousands of years ago, a long time ago. And I think the French Revolution was one of those events that triggered from this transit. Now, that also, like losing the French monarchy. So this is what I mean. It knocks down power structures that are not working for us. Now, this placement, where we've got all three outer planets, intergenerational or collective planets that are moving, they're all linking together. And because they're all in the early degree signs, they're making aspects to each other, which means they're either trining, where they're helping each other bring in the new changes or the new shifts. Neptune wants to dissolve things that no longer work for us. Aries, it's in Aries. It wants to do it in a way that is, this is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's the one that will take the steps forward. Let's make things happen. Let's move. Let's take action, even if it means war. We want these changes in. We want to dissolve the old power structures that are no longer working for us, or monarchies or governments or systems, financial currency, whatever it is. It says that old systems would be dissolving. Now, it's there for 14 years, so it will take a while, but we're feeling the energy in 2026 as that catalyst, or that warm-up energy, that movement into change. Now, change is needed, and it's what will happen by the end of it, but change can be, as I said, confrontational. Change can be a struggle. Change can be having to drag certain people or governments or systems kicking and screaming. Pushback. Then the systems will not dissolve peacefully. They will, especially because it's in the Aries, they will not dissolve willingly. So there will be pushback, there will be fight, there will be distractions and whatever tricks that's played to try and stay in power. But the planets are really fighting against that. The planets, and we feel it individually, collectively, we all feel the energy of shifting energy. We all feel that the energy of revolution, and I'll get to that when I get to your Pluto in Aquarius. So this energy of people coming together in the streets, rising, we're seeing it all over the world. We have been seeing that through 2025, and that's because of Pluto in Aquarius. So this energy combined with Neptune in Aries, it brings more power, more passion, more need to, even if it's fights, war. Now, war could be because it's old systems trying to stay in place, so they're distracting us with wars. But more than that, it means that it's the energy, we're bringing it in, whatever means necessary, to bring in these changes that are needed, that we're all calling for collectively, but they're going to take battles and struggles to get there. So then we have Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. I do have videos on these, I think, on my other channel, but on my Cosmic Trish channel, I do more astrology over on that section. But I use astrology for predictive measures because it gives you the energy of what's coming collectively, and you can use historical events because it's a repeating pattern. When they've been in those houses or signs previously, you can get a gauge, an idea of what could be possibly happening. Now, Pluto is a planet of transformation and change. It's like the Death card and the Tower card. It's sitting in Aquarius. Aquarius rules the collective energy, the power of the people. That, and also it's revolutionary. It's technology. It's rebellion energy. So here it's like the people coming together for great change, being Pluto, change and transformation, done in a very rebellious way. It's the energy that's in the collective stirring up, saying we have to make a change. We have to, feeling like the only way we're going to get change is if we take action ourselves. And don't forget, we've got Neptune in Aries wanting to push that energy. So it's Aquarius. Pluto stays in a sign around about between 15 and 20 years. It will be in Aquarius for 20 years total. Neptune stays in a sign for 14 years, so it's going to be a long time this happens, but we're feeling it in 2026 because they're all coming together, early degrees aspecting each other and pushing each other to work together to make the necessary changes. The planets are pushing the drive, the warring energy, or the ability to want to do something collectively as the people for fairness, to do what we know is right, to do what we feel the changes that need to come in. So it may not be peaceful, these changes, but we're starting to see these things that are happening, wars already. As I said, it's already Pluto in Aquarius, has been there for some time. So that kind of area energy is the rebellion energy, the people standing up collectively. Then we have the other big mover is Uranus. Uranus rules Aquarius, so it has some of the very similar traits, but Uranus is the great disruptor. It wants to make the changes, but it does it in a big destructive kind of way. It does it in a way that forces you to take a step back and find solutions outside of the box. It's all about revolution. It's all about technology. It's all about out of the box kind of solutions to problems, but it's a great disruptor. So Neptune is a dissolver, Uranus is a disruptor, and Pluto is the transformer. So these big planets are all moving and all settling in the new homes in 2026, and that means we have disruption, dissolving, transformation, all taking place, all pushing and helping each other to try and bring in these changes and transformations, but difficulties do go hand in hand. And then we have Saturn in the mix. Saturn in the mix is conjunct Neptune, and Saturn's all about having to put boots on the ground, to take action, to do things, get things done. But it's all about challenges and hurdles and obstacles as well. So I'll go through the eclipses now. That's just a very brief. I tried to keep it as brief as I could. There's a lot more to it, so much more to it, but I just wanted to keep it really brief. Now, Uranus in Gemini was the only one I didn't mention, 7 years. It is all about disrupting communication. Gemini is the way we think. It's the way we question things. It's thoughts and logic. It's about social media, sales, marketing, merchants. So kind of merchant energy, being sales. So we could be looking at changes or disruptions to sales and how money currency is used. It's changes to social media because it's about marketing and communication. So there'll be great changes or disruptions to social media, the way we communicate with each other. Satellites, I feel also there's going to be great changes, maybe technological changes or disruptive changes to satellites in 2026. So that's one of my predictions. Now let's take a look at the eclipses. The eclipses will be, the first one will be February 17th. That will be a new moon in Aquarius, 28 degrees, just taking a look. So it's a new moon. So we have both the sun and the moon in Aquarius at 28 degrees. That will be squaring Uranus in Taurus at 27 degrees. So the squaring aspect is a bit of a challenging aspect. It's trying to work these things together to bring through the balance that's needed for both of these energies. Aquarian energy is revolution, it's rebellion, it's new technology, it's thinking outside of the box. Uranus, same traits. In Taurus, where we come back to our physical body, we engage in comfort zone and nurturing our physical needs or our senses, wanting to feel safe, secure, and comfort amongst all of this energy of what's going on in the collective, because it's Aquarius, so it's squaring Aquarius. So this energy, now I'm taking a look at the charts and the planets, and I've made lots of scribble notes you can see on the bottom of the screen. The energy here is a lot of air energy, so perhaps we could be getting more air energy, cyclones around the world. Now I find, is what I learned last year, they gave me I looked at the astrology, in particular the eclipses, and I got the months for those, and I'm based the predictions for the earth events around the cyclone months. But then the cards came out and they actually gave me the months previous. So I based it on March. The cards told me February, and then I based it on September and being the eclipse months, and the cards told me August. So they were showing me that this energy is felt 1 month prior, which is right now in January. So this eclipse energy of air energy, cyclones, weather events being air events, we feel in January. So that's kind of like the cold, in the northern hemisphere where you're in winter, it's cold energy coming in. So weather events around cold energy to do with air. Could be air pressure as well. And then we have also cyclones possibly in the southern hemisphere where it's warmer air conditions. We also have a bit of water going on there. We have a stellium in Pisces, stellium in air sign Aquarius, and a stellium in Aries being a fire sign. So we could be looking at tension heating up collectively. As I said, I talked about Aquarius and tension, and the Mars energy, the fire energy, brings action or tension. So we've got that going on collectively. But as far as natural disasters, we'll be looking at something around either fire heating up, tension around volcanoes. Could be looking at possible water incidents, whether that's flooding, rising waters, or tides, like the tidal waves, tsunamis. And then we have the air signs, so the kind of air events, the weather events to do with air. So then we have the next one after that will be the 3rd of March. 3rd of March will be a full moon in Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. So we could be looking at either wanting to come back to our bodies, our wellness, our health collectively, or feeling the need to put boots on the ground and work through and get things done. Now it is Uranus 12 degrees, full moon in Virgo at 12 degrees, and the sun will be in Pisces, which is a water sign, also 12 degrees. There's no squaring placements there, but we have the sun in Pisces at 12 degrees. It'll be trining Jupiter in Cancer, 15 degrees. So there's a trine, which is a helpful energy, but Jupiter's all about expansion. So it could be expanding the energy of this eclipse, could be heightened energy because of that Jupiter. Now, what's going on? We've got a stellium in Pisces, that's a water sign. So we could be looking out for either emotional energy on the collective, expanding because of Jupiter, or as far as natural disasters, it would be more water events there. We've got a little bit of fire as well. We've got a stellium in the fire signs of Aries. So we've got that tension heating up energy, action wanting to move forward collectively, but then also it could be fire events being volcanoes. So that would be the months to look out for earlier in the month, and towards the end of the year, we have August is the next eclipse. The first, they always come in pairs, and the pairs are normally on the axis. So we'll have Pisces and Virgo because they're on the axis, and it's to do with the nodes, the shadows of the moon is why why they happen this way. And we always have a pair, but two pairs. So the next one is August 13th. Okay, the two that I think are going to be the biggest ones that we need to be watching out for will be the February one. The February one, because we've got the movement of, it's that Saturn, and I'm just reading the chart here. It's the Saturn conjunct Neptune, 0 degrees in Aries, 0 degrees. So it's just moved into Aries where it's going to be its new home there. Conjunct Saturn being challenges, obstacles, struggles. Neptune wanting to dissolve old systems. This energy is happening right here, 0 degrees, as we're in a big eclipse. We have a square taking place while this is going on. So the sun and the moon both in Aquarius, being that revolutionary energy, collective energy. It will be squaring Uranus again, collective energy, revolution energy, but Taurus, the people needing to feel safe, a kind of balance, trying to bring those two energies together. So that one is going to be one of the biggest ones, because it's we had that Saturn conjunct Neptune, 0 degrees in Aries. So, and Aries, as I mentioned, has its own difficult traits there as well. The other really big one I feel is going to be 13th of August. That will be the sun and the moon again, both in Leo. Interesting. Leo rules leaders. So some of this could be playing out with leaders. Now, we've got some big changes coming to some countries. You can see down the bottom. These are the cards that the biggest changes are coming for. Changes to leaders could be coming, especially around August, because we've got this strong Leo energy here. So it's a trining Saturn. So this eclipse that's taking place here will be trining Saturn in Aries. So heated tension. Again, it's a fire sign, so we could be looking at volcano activity if we're looking at, and it's a stellium. It's Mercury, Jupiter, Moon, and Sun. And Leo, fire sign, still very active fire sign with that conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. So lots of fire energy. It could be heated up tension within the community, the people, the collective. To do with leadership and our leaders, but it could also mean volcano activity as well on the Earth. Now, the interesting thing about the 13th of August eclipse is that Chiron is moving. Chiron's the wounded healer. It's moving into Taurus. It's bringing our attention back to our physical bodies because it's an earth sign. It's also the sign that rules needing to feel comfortable and safe. So, and healing the collective energy to find some energy of just wanting relief of feeling safe and secure within a scattered, chaotic world. So that is taking place. That's why I feel that one's going to be a big one, because there's a lot of fire energy taking place around this eclipse, and there's a lot of like fire sign energy. But then there's also that big move that Chiron moves into its new home of Taurus, healing the body, healing our senses, healing our issues around safety and security and comfort zone. So there's some big healing that's taking place in those areas. I've got a healing card on the table as well for that one there. Then we have the other energy is the last eclipse for the year for 2026 is 28th of August. The sun will be in Virgo. Sun will be in Virgo, which is earth sign. It will be conjunct Mercury about communication, 4 and 5 degrees, 1 degree orb, so quite a tight conjunction there. It's not unusual for Sun and Mercury to be, they travel close together, so that's not unusual energy. We'll have the moon in Pisces at 4 degrees, so there's this energy of emotional security or need to check our boundaries emotionally with our emotions. It could be emotional activity or reactivity that could be taking place here collectively. It's very soft energy though, with it's more emotional energy rather than that kind of Mars push energy, warring energy. Now it's squaring Uranus, so it's that again Uranus energy of revolution and trying to come to terms with needing to come back to the physical body, come back to your individual, like your healing energy versus that what's going on in the collective energy. It's really trying to rectify those two areas together. Moon is in Pisces trining Cancer, another water sign, that's why they're trining, but it brings more emotional energy. Mars is in Cancer at this time trining, so the Mars will be trining the moon. This is emotional passion, emotional upheaval, emotional heated emotions. Could be overwhelming emotions, lots of water there coming up. Now again, we've got this Chiron also in the mix here in Taurus. We've got the sun in Virgo. We'll be trining Chiron in its new home of Taurus. So he will be again coming back to the body, being Virgo, representing the earth or the body, and then Chiron is healing. So in Taurus also body being earth sign. So energetically with the look, I don't think this one's as bad for natural disasters because the planets are very scattered. They're not like, so the stelliums aren't as big. We're not heavy on one side of the chart versus the other side. It's quite nicely scattered and balanced, I feel, for the end of August. So I don't feel this one's going to be as heavy to do with natural disasters. But if I was looking at natural, that's what I'm saying, like it's very balanced with natural disasters. So I'm going to say it's more about coming back to healing physical body, could even be earth. We've got a lot of earth signs there. So that could be the Earth reacting being the energy. Now, I'm going to leave the eclipses there. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the sun activity, the solar activity. I think this year is going to be a very big year for Earth events. That's why I wanted to talk about Earth events being natural disasters, because we're in a solar cycle which reaches its peak or its climax in 2026. I think it's solar cycle 25 that we're in. Now, I've been really closely following the activity of the sun. We had these big CMEs, Earth facing, and when they hit, it always triggers big volcanoes. So it affects the Earth. Now, it's going to be reaching its climax or its peak in 2026. So that means big activity, solar activity. If it's Earth facing, we could be looking for more natural disasters. Then with this solar eclipses, it normally is a catalyst for change. It's normally a catalyst for big events that happen. I feel it's going to be a big, big year for natural disasters. So as well as collective energy changes to structures, government structures, even leaders could be taking place here. Now, getting into the predictive energy now, we'll move on to the cards. So first of all, I asked for my little deck. It's a mixed deck of 144 cards. It talks about all different things. When I asked for which countries are going to be most affected or seek the biggest changes for 2026, only country fell out. So, and what I mean by that, this deck is, it has lots of different things. So it has feelings, it has all kinds of different words that in this deck, and then I have timing, then I have places, locations in this deck. But when I ask the cards, show me which countries will be most affected or biggest changes in 2026, only countries fell out. America is going to see a lot of changes. They're going to be very much involved in these big changes that's taking place, whether it's changes within America itself, heated tension within, it could be rulers, it could be leaders, it could be just the power of the people, energy, all the things that I talked about because of the big outer planets. Biggest changes we could be seeing will be America, the UK, which I was happy to see that one for all the people in UK. I know you really want change. I know a lot of people in America want change as well, but change is coming. It's inevitable. Canada, I was quite surprised. Change is coming in, and there's going to be, predictably, lots happening in Canada over 2026. Middle East, big changes coming to the Middle East. Now, I was picking up energies. I've made lots of notes here. Picking up energies around changes to power structures, systems, governments, finances, money, but also ideologies such as religious-based type of things. So I think that plays out in the Middle East, that kind of stuff. Now, we are starting to see tension around Iran. So I feel that change is already happening. Lots of big things happening for Iran for 2026. Could be other places in the Middle East, but I feel really strong energy around. Now, the other thing that I saw was a vision of not Osama bin Laden, it was the other one, and I can't remember his name, sorry, but back in the Gulf War, back a few years ago, when they were toppling the statue of their leader and it fell to the ground and it all smashed up. I saw a vision of that. So I don't know if that was Iran, but it was definitely in the Middle East. So I don't know if it's just showing me big toppling changes for the Middle East. Of a leader or a ruler, or if it is just bringing my attention back to Iran or the Middle East. But that was the vision that I had. So, and then it come out in the cards. It's visions first. I've been having the visions over the last couple of weeks, and then Middle East came out. So I feel very toppling leadership, perhaps to do with one of the Middle Eastern countries. Then I saw this is prior to pulling, this is like I said over the last couple of weeks, I saw a vision of an American flag in the ground. So I don't know if that's like, this was prior to the Venezuela incident where Trump went in and took over Venezuela. About a week before that, I saw American flag being inserted into the ground, but it was a short pole. So I don't know if that means something coming up in 2026 around America flag at half mast. So because it was like I could see it very short off the ground, this American flag, or if it was to do with taking over another country because it was the way they showed me, inserted into the ground, but it was low to the ground. So it could be, and then it appears as one of the biggest countries to be feeling changes in 2026. So it could be a predictive event that takes place in America that is to do with the flag being flown at half mast for some reason, or America going boots on the ground into another country because it planted a flag there in another country. New Zealand on the table. Interesting one, because I pulled these cards and I didn't pull New Zealand. But then when I came just to lay the cards out on the table, New Zealand was sitting there. So I don't know how it got there. I didn't see it fall out. Maybe it was attached to one of the other cards, and when I moved it, it kind of unstuck from that card. But New Zealand wasn't originally, when I pulled these cards yesterday, New Zealand wasn't in one of those cards that I pulled. But when I spread them out on the table this morning, New Zealand sitting there. So there's going to be some changes in New Zealand as well. It's going to be things going on with New Zealand. Now, Europe also, I have healing because of this Chiron energy. Now, as I said, Chiron in August, we've got big events around Chiron where it's trining Taurus. It's trining the sun in Virgo, which will be an eclipsing sun. So we could be seeing things in August for Europe to do with healing, because Chiron's the wounded healer. 13th of August, we have Chiron moving into Taurus. So this is where we could be seeing some incidences in Europe that's going to cause the nation to require healing or seek healing in some way. So I don't know what event, but a big event is what I'm hearing around Europe I'm guessing August. I'm only guessing. I'm not hearing August. I'm guessing August because of Chiron movement in August. So if I had to pinpoint a month, I would say August, but this is just giving me general vibes of 2026. So Europe, big changes around needing to heal something, an event that takes place, a big event that requires the nation to heal over something. The overall energy, I feel, I'm going to get to the good ones with these ones. The overall energy I feel here is quite draining. It's going to be a year of emotional upheaval, up and down. I did mention a lot of water placement signs there in the eclipses. So we're going to be having to guard our boundaries and our energetic, emotional boundaries. Be on high guard, because otherwise this roller coaster that 2026 is going to drain you. It's going to give you brain fog, headaches, emotionally tiredness, just drained physical vitality and energy. So keep your guard up, keep your boundaries up, try not to focus too much on the negativity that's going on, because remember, these things are the shift we feel within us that's happening and necessary, even though to get to that place, it's going to be a struggle to get there. And that's where that negative energy we could be seeing as headlines, fires, volcanoes, wars, kind of chaos and drama and collective energy. I'm seeing people fighting police in the street. So I'm seeing that kind of energy of tension amongst people as well. It could even be, I wonder if it's civil war. I don't know. It could be, it's tension amongst people. So why I saw the police with the shields gets very tense, but I wonder if it's people against each other. So try not to participate in that energy, because that is, the more you participate in that energy, the more you put that negative energy into the collective, and it doesn't help. So I feel you need to protect yourself, guard your energy, guard your boundaries. Otherwise, you'll be the effects of this chaotic changes coming in over 2026 will drain you. Great card here. We've got achieving. So there's going to be achievements also. Now, power structures, struggles, tribulations. The vision I saw was the Ace of Swords, like the Ace of Swords triumphed over adversity, and I felt the struggle of trying to pull the sword out of the rock. So it was giving me vibes or visions of how hard and difficult this is to change the necessary structures, because it's been like this sword is concreted into this rock. It's been like this for a long time. So it's going to be very hard to make the changes, make the cuts. We're talking swords energy, because that was the vision they gave me. So make the changes necessary. It's struggles is what they showed me. But there will be triumph. We will achieve. There'll be triumphs over adversity, but it's going to take struggles. It's going to take a lot of energy to make these changes. We have trust as well. Trust, credibility broken here. I feel that could be to do with the leaders, perhaps monarchies or leaders, and this will be especially heightened on the 13th of August. Not cyclone. It's fire energy because it's Leo. That will be 13th of August. That will be the eclipse that will be taking place there. And we have a lot of Leo energy. That's why I feel we're going to be heightened energy. So I'm not picking that up psychically. I'm picking that based up on astrology. So if I had to pick a month where that trust, credibility, and broken trust around leaders and rulers, I think it comes to a crescendo around August. And look at those numbers, 8-8. Interesting. Let's get on to the predictive personal predictions. So that was the visions that I saw. It was the sword. It was the other one that I had. The other vision was displacement. Now, I don't know if this is displacement because of war or weather, but as people displaced. So, and I also saw a vision of a tent. So I don't know if it's to do with homelessness or people coming out of one country and seeking refuge because they showed me the tent vision. But I just feel like we've got this energy around displacement in 2026, displacement of the people for whatever reason. They're to do with their land, weather, or war. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just reading through my notes here before I get the predictive energy out. Neptune in Aries is about dissolving the power structures. This could be monarchies, governments, or religion. Iran after Venezuela, could be changes around Taiwan as well. Changes, maybe even changes in the royals to do royals or government systems. Displacement, rebellion. I couldn't tell if it was war or weather. Maybe new lands, mapping continents, but it's something to do with lands, uninhabitable, being displacement. So I don't know if that's war or weather. Aquarius. Okay, so then we'll have Neptune opposing Libra at that time. So issues around injustice and imbalance will come to light around that time or in 2026. We have Aquarius in Pluto, which is changes, people thinking differently, outside of the box, changes to the collective energy as well. Pluto will be opposing Leo, which is leaders, our rulers. So perhaps even struggling to hold power for the leaders. Then we have Uranus in Gemini, new ways to communicate. I picked up around the satellites and social media issues. Could be something to do with, because it is opposing Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules religion. I felt like there could be some issues around religion or dogma or some kind of power structures to do with the religion as well in 2026. Changes in governments, battles, fights, and changes around injustice because of Aries. Aries opposing Libra, trying to get justice and balance. Couple of prediction cards are for the general energies related to what I just ran through with the visions that I had and the astrology, but I do the monthly ones so I can go into more detail month by month basis. Now I am seeing something to do with food shortages, a need to prepare and stock up. Could be related to any of those countries we saw on the table earlier. I do see issues around commercial airlines, planning, scheduling, cancelled flights, lots of issues around commercial airlines, maybe not being able to travel in certain areas. On the table is battle and warship. It does align with everything that I just said with Neptune in Aries. So we've got that lots of strategy and planning to do with battles around the world in 2026. Unexpected results, though, maybe things not as expected. Now, taken by force, up here I feel this taken by force card, it could be related to Venezuela and the outcome or the results the effects of unexpected results of taking a leader by force, the repercussions of that. So that will be coming up in 2026. Now, it could be more countries' attempts to take countries by force or take back countries. It will be an unexpected result. Another one, or Venezuela we're talking about. We have a leader here, burnt out. We'll see in 2026, a leader either retiring, stepping down. It could be ill health. It could be just burnout, fatigue. It's energy around their health and burnout. It could be stepping down or struggling, making plans and strategies to step out of the limelight or to get help. As I say that, it doesn't feel right. There's something going on around a leader that is burnt out. So therefore could be seeking retirement or making plans and strategies to move forward around that. Seeking a solution to a problem, again, planning it, thinking about their future, planning outcome, because all of this war energy is quite tense and this person may not handle that, may get very burnt out. I know with the commercial airlines being affected, it could be to do with Middle East even. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that reading. It's that attached in the products, or you can go to my website, which is trishiejamesoracles.com, to grab one of these decks. But thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you on the next reading.